Alright, today's lesson will be the first lesson, or lesson number 1, in our InDesign series. So to find InDesign, just go ahead and go to your Windows menu and search for InDesign, I-N-D-E-S-I-G-N, and then go ahead and launch Adobe InDesign 2018. Once you've done that, you should be in this Welcome to InDesign. Go up here to File and create a new document. So let's talk a little bit about documents in InDesign. InDesign is a pre-press, or in other words, it makes documents for print. And so some new things we're going to be talking about in InDesign are picas. A pica is 1/6 of an inch. There are 6 picas in every inch. So if I change this to inches, you'll notice it's an 8.5 by 11 inch document. So if I change it back to picas, you'll notice I have 66 picas in the height of my document. Okay, so 51, or 8.5 inches, times 66, which is 11 inches. Now, if I want to do this in pages, in printing, you normally print on 16 pages. They're printed 8 on a side on a large piece of paper, and then they're folded and cut. So we're going to go ahead and create 16 pages, 16 facing pages. And really that means the first page and the last page won't be facing pages. This is where we would add our columns. So let's go ahead and have 8 columns on a page with one pica gutter between each. You can also set your margins. I'm okay with a 3 pica margin. And then a bleed. The bleed area is the area outside of the page where it doesn't print at all, or where it gets cut off. Thus, that's why they call it the bleed area, because it gets cut off. So we can even have a little preview of it. Let's just go ahead and create it. Alright, so this is our first page, page number 1. Over here, over here in the top right hand corner, you're going to see the pages area. So if I click on pages, this is going to show you all 16 of my pages, and it puts them in what are called spreads. Spreads are 2 facing pages. So let's go ahead and click on pages 2 and 3, right? And so here's pages 2 and 3. It is a 2 facing pages. Let me get the hand tool. There we go. With the hand tool, I can move the pages around. Alright, so you can see the left-hand page and the right-hand page. So page 1, of course, is a single page because it doesn't have a pair. You always start on an even number page, and there's no page 0. So here's page 1, and then 2 and 3, 4 and 5, all the way down to 14 and 15, and then 16 is, of course, also by itself. So there's page 16. It doesn't have a facing page either. Alright, so we're going to go back to pages 2 and 3, and then we can tip our pages back in like that. Okay. Alright, let's go to the left-hand side, and let's talk about the different arrows that we have. We have the black arrow, which is also called the selection tool, and then we have the white arrow, which is the direct selection tool. And we're going to be talking about the difference between the selection, or black arrow, and the direct selection, or white arrow tool later on. I'm going to skip these next couple tools because we're probably not going to be using them, at least not in the near future. The next tool I want you to look at is the type tool, because we will be creating type with it. We will probably be using the line tool. Probably not using the pen or pencil tool. We will definitely be using the rectangle frame tool. We will probably use the rectangle tool, And underneath the rectangle tool, just like other tools, it has, you can see the rectangle frame and the rectangle tool have ellipses and polygons underneath them, just like in Photoshop. Right, so some of the things you learn in Photoshop are going to carry over. All right, we're going to skip again all the way down to the hand tool. The hand tool is really useful because you can move the whole layout around. And then the magnifying glass or the zoom tool allows you to zoom in and out of your layout. And then these tools are going to be very useful. This is the fill tool and this is the stroke tool. And we're going to be using both of those later on. So I'm going to get the selection tool. Alright, I got the selection tool, and actually what I want you to do is let's go ahead and get the rectangle frame tool. So we're going to get the rectangle frame tool and we're going to start talking about setting up frames. A frame is a box that you can put things in, like photos. So we're going to make a couple of boxes and we're going to talk about how we can do some different things with the boxes themselves. Alright, so I'm going to make a box, and I'm going to make this box 4 columns wide. So you notice it puts this X inside of that box. That lets you know that you can put something inside of this box and that it is empty. Okay, so basically it's a box that you can put pictures in. So now I'm going to get my black arrow or the selection tool, and you can see when I do that, the handles appear on the edges of the box. This lets me know that I can resize this box. So let's go ahead and make this box 3 columns wide. So all I did was grab it and moved it over and made it 3 columns wide. I can also make it a certain height. So right here it has the width and the height of the box. So let's go ahead and make the height. Let's make it 24 picas exactly. So I hit 24p and enter, right? And now it is 24 picas exactly. You can also add inches. So what if I wanted to make it 4 inches, right? Which is also 24 picas. So let's make it 4.5 inches. There we go. Now it's 27 picas tall. So let's go back to 24 picas. All right. There's some other boxes up here, right? This is its anchor box. Right, I can click on the different boxes to do different things. Right, so you have this, brings in the corners and makes it round, the corners rounded. I don't want to round the corners, so I'm just going to click off of it. So that allowed me to round the corners out using this. This is the edit corner box. Okay. Alright, so let's look at what else we can do. We can also change the border of this box. So let's go ahead and click over here, down here. We're going to click on the border, the stroke box, not the fill box, the stroke box. Okay, and then I'm going to come up here. I'm going to double click on it and I'm going to make it black. Right. And now up here I can set it to be solid or dashed or whatever. We're just going to keep it solid. And I can change the size of the thickness. So let's make it 3 point. So now you can really see that it actually has a border around it. Now these purple guidelines and the blue guidelines, any of the guidelines on this page, they're called non-printing lines. So whenever we print this page, those lines will not print. So let's go up here to View, and we're going to go down to Screen Mode, and we're going to change this to Preview. And when we do, you notice all the guides go away, and this shows you what will actually print. And right now, the only thing on this whole page that's going to print is the box that we just created. So let's go back to View. We're going to go back to Screen Mode and turn it back to normal. So we want to see the guides. Okay, and you notice that it kept our little box over here. It kept our 3 point black border. So if I make another box, another picture box, let's make a smaller picture box right here. Let's make it 3 columns wide. And you notice when I made this box, right, that you see right now there's that green line that goes across. It's telling me that it's at the exact same level as this other picture. So it's lined up with it. But if I want to make it a certain height, let's go back up here and let's go and make this 14. Now, what did it do? It made it shorter. So if I want to line it up again, I'm going to have to move it up and down inside of that column until it lines up with the green line again across the bottom. So now they're lined up. Now if I want to add that border again, right, I have to come over here, make it black, right, change this to 3 point. Now it's got a border around it as well. Right, I could add a 3-point border by to every picture by simply going here to the rectangle frame tool, making a 3-point border. I think it's already black. So if I draw another box, let's make this one 2. Well, it should have made it. Guess it didn't want to. Well, let's just go ahead and make it black. Make it 3 points. Do this the hard way. Now notice it's outside of it's in the gutter, right? This is the gutter between the columns. So we want to move it over. And let's make this one a tall picture. Just make sure it should snap to the edges right here. Let's go ahead and make this one, let's make it 20 picas tall. Okay. Alright, so we have 3 picture boxes now on here. So let's talk about our text tool while we still have a few more minutes in this video. So this is the text tool, the type tool, and we can draw boxes to type in with the type tool. So just like I drew these boxes, I can draw a box with the type tool. So I'm going to go ahead and draw a box for my headline right here, and then I'm just going to type in headline goes here. Okay, and then I can highlight it and I can make this whatever size and font I want. So I'm going to go ahead and make this Arial. Let's make it a nice big size. Arial, not 60. That's a bit too big. Let's make it 36. Headline goes here. And let's make it bold. Instead of regular, let's make it bold. Headline goes here. Okay. So there's our headline. And I can shorten this up like that. So it's just the headline box. Okay. Now, if I wanted to make another headline, I could just go back and draw it again, or I could just simply click on this, go to Edit, Copy, and then go to Edit again and Paste. Now, this is going to be my sub-headline, so I'm going to put sub-headline goes here. Now notice what happens when I do that. This little red plus. This is telling me there's extra copy outside of the box, right? That's beyond my box. So if I want to get the whole thing, I need to drag this down a little bit. Now I can highlight everything. And typically a subheadline is going to be 2/3 or even half the size of the headline. So if the headline is 36, then let's make our subheadline half of that, which is 18. So here's my subheadline goes here. And then I can also shorten this up like that. Line it up with the bottom there. Alright, so I think that's enough for one lesson. So this will be the end of Adobe InDesign Lesson 1. You should have the 3 boxes, the same sizes, 3 picture boxes, same sizes that I created them. Your headline goes here with the same font that I used and the same sub-headline that I also used. Name your file and turn it in.